Hey there! If you are seeing this video, you are most likely on week one of my personal wellness coaching. And so I wanted to just reiterate what exactly my coaching is because it is much more than the low hanging fruit of eat this food, do this workout, lose weight, and see physical results. Because what we need to instill in you is a whole different mindset, and you can totally do that with my coaching. And so, my coaching, what it is the repetition of applying the correct information that leads to healthier habits for reprogramming subconscious behavior patterns that operate 95% of our day. So, our conscious minds, the minds that are logical and know exactly what's going on in the present moment, only operate at 5% a day. Our subconscious behavior patterns are running on 95% a day. And what that means is all the programming that you've done subconsciously without knowing that led you to this moment where you are now. Maybe you are really unhappy physically. Maybe you try over and over and over and restart different programs, diets, cleanses, everything, and nothing is consistent or sustainable. And that is because you never let yourself get to that breaking point where you actually create and sustain new neurological brain patterns and create healthier habits. So, not only is the information I'm going to give you important because it's the knowledge, it's the education, and it's correct, in my opinion, but applying it is the most important part of this program. Simple daily repetition every single day. We're not going to worry about the weekend, next week, the overall goal you have. Maybe your overall goal is to lose 25 pounds. We're not going to think about the 25 pounds. We're going to think about what you can do in the next 24 hours that you have control over, and that is the decisions you make and the decisions that you say no to. I mean, a healthy decision is not only saying yes to a healthy option, it's also saying no to things as well. And so, without further ado, I think a lot of that is in the guide, but I want to go over the first week of bullet points that I told you guys that I would be going over just really quick. So, nailing down your routine, not trying to figure everything out at once, just some quick information answers about the food chart facts, how to structure your meals, intermittent fasting, mind meal information, and sugar detoxing. So, nailing down your routine is really important, and this will be different for everyone. So, I can't say this is the time you need to do everything. You really have to figure out where it fits best for you. Everyone's jobs will be different, different schedules, kids, events, what have you. So, really sit down and write out exactly what you will do at what time. When will you get your workout in? And mind you, it's best to work out in the morning. I know not everyone has access to that. Maybe you have to be at work at 6 a.m. But it is best to work out in the morning in the first 90 minutes of your day because that is when your testosterone is highest and your naturally circulating hormones are going in the first 90 minutes. So you'll get a little bit better results if you can utilize and capitalize on those hormones being ready to go and get those results. So, but definitely nail down your routine, what works for you. Um, Whether that be, you have to meal prep your meals, like you're not an on the go sort of person and on a whim, like you have a job where you have to meal prep. If that's the case, meal prep for 2 or 3 days in advance. We don't have to do a Sunday night 4-hour haul for the whole entire week. Just make sure you are prepared, you planned out. And so those moments, especially in the beginning where you're the weakest, don't pop up and you're more susceptible to be stressed out or overwhelmed in the moment. So we definitely want to plan and prepare. So maybe write out your week and try to stick to that every single day. Work out at the same time every day, eat at the same time every day. Your body likes to know what is happening. It likes to anticipate what you're going to do. If you work out this time on this day and then tomorrow you're later in the evening, and then the next day you're at lunch, it's confused and it doesn't know what to do. And so it anticipates, oh well, she worked out at 6 a.m. today, so tomorrow she'll do the same thing. And then when you don't, it's like, okay, I don't know how to do that. So it's really helpful if you can try to do the same thing at the same time every single day, because your body wants to anticipate and know what to do. Don't try to figure everything out all at once. Most people read over the guide and they're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much information in this. I can teach you how to change your body quicker than you can learn how to do it. So do not think you have to learn everything. This is a learning process. I'm still learning after 6 years, I'm still learning and finding new techniques and tips and tricks. So really just look at the day in front of you that you have on the schedule. Do that day, write it out, write out your meals, write out your water, write out your workout, your weight if you want to every day or every couple of days. And don't try to think you have to have everything perfect to start, because you don't. You want to start messy. You want to start now. You want to learn along the way, and taking action is the best way to obtain knowledge. So don't try to figure it all out. Some quick answers about the food chart facts. That should be your best friend. You should print that out, have it on your fridge, or have it easily accessible in your phone. The way that is listed is honestly, like, the protein is in order from best to worse. And you just want to be able to have that quick access to that, because that really tells you a lot about what the foods you will be ingesting will do to your body. If it has a high GI, as you may have already come across, a high GI means it will spike your blood sugar the quickest, which means it will flood your body with insulin, which means it will create a wall between your fat and make it impossible for your body to burn fat. So the high GI, the 55 and under is great. The 65 and under is medium, or 70 and under is medium, and then 70 and above in the 70s, 80s, 90s, anything with food, any of the food with those numbers you really want to try to stay away from. That is the red zone. Try to avoid at all possible. If you don't, it's not the end of the world, but that's your red light. The yellow light that, you could leave it or take it, is the ones that's the medium, and that's 70 and below, under the GI, the glycemic index. And then the 55 and below is a green light at all times. Feel free to have that, and that really won't harm your body as much as the red. And then how to structure your meals. We want to do, this is in the guide, but you want to start with your protein first. And the reason we do this is because some of the time protein can have fats in it. Lean turkey, lean ground beef, a lot of red meat also has fats, as well as salmon, fatty fish. And so you want to start with your protein, but you don't want to completely negate the fact that the protein will have fats in it. So you don't want to be having 6 ounces of, a 90% beef, because I think every 4 ounces, 90% beef also has like 10 grams of fat. So you don't want to just use that for your protein and then be like, okay, now I'm starting at 0 for my fats. I'm going to have half an avocado or an avocado or whatever, when you really already covered your fats with that protein. So that's also what the food chart facts is really helpful with. Like, lean chicken breast almost has 0 fats. You can have a lot of lean chicken, plus you can have a lot of fats as well, nuts, avocado, anything you want to add. So that's really important to start with your protein, then add your fats, then your fibrous carbs, which can also be fruit if you want it as well, berries, anything like that. And so we want to start with protein first. That's the most important. So structuring your meals, and there's more information about that. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Intermittent fasting, not a requirement, but a big recommendation. Intermittent fasting goes really well with this type of correct eating. You'll burn fat way more effectively. You will have less of an appetite. You won't eat as much. It's not what you eat. It's just a way of eating. And it honestly kind of just makes you forget about food. You're not waking up right in the morning and thinking you have to eat breakfast. Especially, this is good for people that are on the go in the mornings and super busy. So look into intermittent fasting, see if it's something you could do. What I always tell my clients to do is to just, if you want to start doing it, but you can't go from eating at 6 a.m. to eating at noon the very next day, try to every day wait 30 more minutes. So eat at 6:30, then the next day eat at 7 or 7:30, and then the next day eat at 8 or 8:30, and work your way up into that time that you want to intermittent fast. Intermittent fasting is eating within an 8-hour window. So, and you eat from noon to 8 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so I love intermittent fasting. I feel like it doesn't make me eat as much. I'm not as hungry during the day. I see better results. I get leaner. I stay leaner. So just something to consider if you kind of just are always like worried about food. If you're always worried about the next meal, when really this is, if you condense your time down as much as possible, then that's less time you have to think about food during the day if you're super busy. That's intermittent fasting. Mind meal information, every 5 days, we try to have a mind meal, and this is essentially a cheat meal. It is, if you do really well on days 1 through 4, or 6 through 9, with your eating, you are kind of causing two hormones to come into imbalance, your leptin and your ghrelin hormones. And these are your hormones responsible for your appetite and your satiety, where you feel full and you feel satisfied. And so these kind of just get off balance a little bit whenever you don't have carbs. And so we want to replenish these hormones and actually put your body into overdrive to burn it off, because it'll also be an overdrive to burn fat as well. So there's a little bit more information about mind meal, and you'll learn along the way, but you'll notice at the beginning, you're like, okay, dang, I'm kind of hungry, like I'm kind of feeling a little bit depleted, I need some energy. That is when we kind of carb load. You want to have only starchy carbs. You want to go to that starchy carb column in the food chart facts and try to pick something from there. I think I put my examples in there, but like a big sweet potato, oatmeal, some pizza, but you don't want to have your full protein, fat, and fibrous carbs meal and then add carbs with it. You want it to only be starchy carbs as much as possible. Of course, I don't expect you to eat plain pasta. You can have sauce and stuff like that, or spreads. Like if you want to have a bagel, I put cream cheese on it, but don't base your meal around your normal meal and then add carbs later. Just try to make it starchy carbs only. This will well, I can talk more about this because it's kind of it's a longer conversation, but you'll start to notice that you don't need carbs as much. At the beginning, the first 2 weeks, you might need the mind meal more than usual, but you'll start to notice that your body doesn't crave it as much. But what happens during this time is that when you're stripping away as much insulin as possible, you're allowing your body to access fat and burn your own fat as energy. And so whenever you're restricting the insulin as much as possible, and then you flood your body with insulin, if you watch my video of the Pac-Man, which I like to reference it at, the little Pac-Man will work overtime to burn off the insulin that you just flooded it with. Well, once the insulin is gone, your Pac-Man is still working away, and it goes into your fat stores and starts to work overdrive into your fat. So when we flood our body with insulin, with the starchy carbs or the high GI foods, it's actually a good thing, because if you have gone 4 or 5 days without it, because your body will work overtime to not only burn off the insulin but burn off the fat. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions about that. And then sugar detoxing this week, you will probably feel a little bit funnier than you normally do, maybe a little bit of a headache, maybe some low energy. That is your body trying to detox and get off the sugar addiction that you have so implemented this whole, for however long you have been every day giving it something that doesn't ever allow your body to wean off of it. I mean, of course, an alcoholic can't dabble with alcohol every day and be like, oh, it's okay, it's just a little bit, but when really you need to get away from the addiction. So this week you might feel a little bit of that. Push past, I swear, it goes away. 5 to 6 days, maybe a week. You can overcome this. Most people don't think they can go that long, when really you can. 5 to 6 days, just give it that. Try to be as best as you can as possible. Use your willpower to stay away from the sugar, the sodas, everything like that, and I swear this feeling will pass. So this is week 1 of just some things you might be noticing or wondering, and hopefully this little video helps with that and answers any questions you have. But feel free to ask me any other questions. That is why I'm here at your full disposal. With you can call, text, or voice message me. I really like voice message. So happy week 1 of my coaching. And yeah, I would say this week, back to the second point, do not try to figure everything out. Just do and learn along the way. So thank you so much. Talk to you soon.